What is going on, guys? Good evening. It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Kwame, coming at us actually on a holiday, Christopher Columbus Day. I'd be lying to you if I told you that last week, if I knew that today was going to be a holiday. We actually had a client who we were trying to close on Tuesday. Coincidentally, we got the file clear to close on Thursday, got the preliminary CD out to the client, stretched it to get it out on Friday. Then it actually turned out completely forgot Monday was a holiday, so we actually weren't able to close on Tuesday. Tomorrow we're going to be closing on Wednesday. So pretty funny for us to see that. Man, I remember when when we were a kid, I feel like we never had holidays off and stuff like that. And now there's holidays every single day. Um, so what do we have going on in the market? I've got no fancy newsletter for us today. But I wanted to kind of just jump on and really kind of go over really what's happened over the last 2 weeks, and really set the tone as to what we're expecting to see heading into next month and heading into really what the expectation is going to be in terms of the Federal Reserve when it comes to November. Are they going to be looking to cut? And if they are looking to cut, by how much, right? We know at one point 50%, 50 basis points was on the scorecard. Really no longer the case, right? The market has kind of transitioned, kind of really shifted from what we were looking at. Now, what happened last week? Last week, we got the consumer price index report and the producer price index report. And we know that a consumer price index report actually at the core CPI report with the core CPI report actually came in a little hotter than expectations, but really kind of came in line. Same thing with the producer price index. So the difference between the two is just consumer spending versus wholesale spending. And I'm starting to notice it, man, even on a personal level when it comes to the personal spending side, right? We go to Costco all the time. And I feel like every single time the Tropicana juice just keeps getting smaller and smaller, right? We used to go and get the containers, it was 4. Then they changed it to 3 kind of bigger containers. Now they've dropped it all the way down to these 2 little small 3 containers. And I think they've really been around the same price, which is pretty crazy. But on a wholesale level, so I'm going to give us some stats. Producer price index, again, really was unchanged. It was lower than the expectation of 1%, 0.0048. Basically, we could round it to 0%, truly showing a little bit of that stagnation, right? A little bit of that standstill of what we were looking for. Now, they did revise PPI, producer price index, kind of shifted a little bit from 1.7 to 1.9 because the 0% decline actually dropped because of, I'd say, today's report Friday. We saw the core rate, again, which took away energy and food, also rose 0.2% last month, really, again, being in line with the estimates of what we were looking for. Now, again, really the most important part that I want us to think about, again, is really just us being worried about, is inflation going to kind of tick up? And if it is going to tick up, really at what point, right? The market was expecting, again, PCE to fall to 2.1%. Just like I said, it really kind of shifted a little bit with the core dropping to 2.6%. Again, both really good readings, but once again, we really want to kind of see those components on the producer price index report start to stay consistent, right? The consistency when it comes to this data is just so critical because we want to make sure that whatever readings are coming in, is the Fed, how deep are they looking into this stuff? Are they truly looking? We know that the labor market has been a whirlwind, right? That's what's caused rates to kind of trickle up, which I'm going to be sharing my screen and going over it with us. But the true reality of it is that the lower shelter readings, again, is obviously going to make it easier for inflation to go down. But at what point are we looking for that to occur in order for the Fed to truly acknowledge that, okay, shelter has caught up. We're starting to see a little bit of slowdown in regards to the market. Maybe we should consider increasing our cuts from 25 basis points to 50 basis points, or really even no cuts, right? I know that they interviewed a few Fed chairs. The New York Fed president actually said that, listen, month over month, there's always wiggle. We've seen steady move on progress on inflation, which is good. The Chicago Fed also showed that, once again, not concerned about the slightly higher CPI reading that we had. The Richmond Fed, again, said inflation's heading in the right direction. The Atlanta Fed, as you said, he's comfortable skipping a meeting, suggesting the data, again, not having to cut 25 basis points from November and December meeting, which obviously would kind of throw the market a little bit into a transition turmoil. But that hotter BLS report just threw a massive curveball on everything, right? Because we were truly anticipating that the Fed was going to be really staying consistent with their cuts. The open committee right now is showing that there's going to be a very high likelihood that they are going to, regardless, still cut at the 25 basis point just a matter of at what point does the Federal Open Market Committee really expect that to occur, right? So a lot of those different things that I think it's just so critical for us to stay on top of and monitor, because it does affect monetary policy. And the monetary policy, when we look at this stuff, and I'm going to pull up the financial stability, where we're going to look at where rate cuts are going to come in, and kind of unfortunate, right? I mean, I think they were very aggressive on the Fed side in and of itself. When we were looking at the Fed rate cuts, I think they went a little aggressive from the start when they went and cut immediately at the 50 basis point side. Do I think that based on their dot plot, it's going to change? Probably, right? I think the committee will make adjustments. Now, we are seeing, though, that the Fed is very quick to change their stance, right? All it takes is basically one data reading for them to essentially admit that their balance sheet are going down, their financial stability with a lot of these different items are simultaneously going down. And the economic data is obviously pointing to, are we going to consistently see those cuts that we want, which is going to directly obviously impact interest rates and the cost to borrow, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I want us to kind of take a look at where rates have been pretty much for the last 4 months. So we're going to go boom, present. I'm going to pull up my screen, entire screen. We're going to share this screen too. Boom. You guys can kind of see here, truly since July of 2024 till basically now. So July, August, September, October, essentially 4 months, rates were pretty much at a downward trend, right? We saw a pretty significant drop. This is really around the time we saw that drop, around end of the summer, right? Is when we started seeing a consistent data with inflation, consistent data with employment. We've now kind of really teetered on the positive side, right? And from here on, basically, is when I had mentioned earlier 2 weeks ago, is with the employment market. This has really been where we've seen that upward trend, right? So if I pull, we can pretty much see that rates have been ticking up since then, kind of slowly plateauing, but really ticking up since then. And this is around the same time when we got the updated data readings of the BLS report, of the Bureau of Labor Statistics report, that threw a massive wrench in regards to the readings that we were expecting. Now, we are going to get updated data readings again towards the end of this month, right? So hopefully that'll kind of give a little bit more light in regards to the unemployment market. Now, what was really interesting to see, though, is Thursday, the initial jobless claims actually showed jobless claims jumping up, right? And that actually helped the market a little bit. It kind of counteracted the CPI report that we got on Wednesday, and really kind of showed a little bit of positive movement in regards to the benchmark on the rates, but then almost immediately kind of counteracted after we saw a little bit of shifts when we looked at the producer price index, right? So obviously the markets were essentially closed today, given the holiday, but we'll see how the market opens up this week. We don't have a lot going on this week in terms of market changing data. We'll get updates on retail sales numbers, housing starts, housing permits, a little bit of different really updates in regards to the initial jobless claims and how it's impacted from week to week. We do know, obviously, those who are in Florida, I hope everybody over there is staying safe. But that could have played a massive change, truly, with initial jobless claims, especially right now, right? With some of the damage that it did. The people in North Carolina as well, some of the damage that occurred down there could potentially impact a little bit of the data source of what we'll see. So, of course, I'll keep you guys updated on that stuff. We will get updates later on this month in regards to the PCE report, personal consumption expenditure report. Can that really help solidify the market and kind of bring us back to the positive trend of what we were seeing earlier? We'll certainly get there. See exactly how the market transitions, hopefully in our favor, and then take it from there. Okay, so appreciate you guys jumping on. As always, if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys message us. Got Mortgages. Visit our website, gotmortgages.com. Again, this video will be posted later on our YouTube channel. So any questions that you guys have, feel free to reach out. Talk to you guys soon.